Please be advised that this video is for the sole purpose of entertainment. Any views are purely my own, are subjective and may not necessarily be true. I do, however, do extensive research for all of my videos. All photos have been found on the public domain. I am using them under the fair use and fair dealing guidelines. I urge everybody to do their own research. Well, hello, it's Murky Meg here. It's Friday the 6th of March. Well, she's back in the old country, isn't she? Although she did like to rub it in a little bit. She said that she had seen all the video clips from the Endeavour Awards all the way back from Canada. It's not exactly that far. It's not like it's in the other end of the universe. It's just Canada. So they attended the Endeavour Awards last night, and I will have to admit, I will be kind on this one. On first impressions, she looked scrubbed, polished, and she suited the dress. When they were walking into the awards ceremony, I thought, wow. And especially there's a couple of pictures with the rain coming down and the flashes. It almost looks like old style Hollywood. Then you have a look a little bit further into it. The dress seemed to be a little bit too tight, although I liked the dress and I thought the colour was beautiful on her. I think that she should have gone that little bit of a size up to make it a bit more comfortable on her, and she would have looked perfect, in my honest opinion. Now, a lot of people are asking me, what on earth is about the cheesy grin? It was like the cat that got the canary, wasn't it? It was her big entrance back from all of this Mexit drama, and she really did make sure all eyes were on her, didn't she? Unfortunately for her, there was a little bit of booing. One person, I think the royal reporters were saying it was one boo. It was a very loud boo and not that many cheers. I've got this video of them entering the event. As you can hear, there was about 50 people or so, the royal reporters said, outside of the event when they were going in. There are a couple of issues that I have with this whole event. Meghan made it all about her. We knew that that was going to happen anyway. And a lot of people were commenting on her smile. I think there's something very, very different going on with her face at the moment. Now, I am always one to try and look at both sides of the argument. To me, it looked like she'd had a little bit of work done. Nothing major, please don't shoot me down. And do you know what? It's her right if she wants to have that done. God, I wish I could. I'm a bit too young at the moment, mind you, she's younger than me, so there you go. Whatever she has done, it's made her look a little bit different. Some people are saying a little bit of Botox. Some people are saying that she's got new veneers. Something was definitely different about her mouth. This very well could have been just sheer different coloured lipstick. She was wearing a very red shade and a very silky shade, shiny shade of lipstick. So that often makes your teeth brighter and it can make your smile wider. The aesthetics of it, simple changes like that can affect one's look. A lot of people were saying that her skin was very different, and I think her eyes looked different purely for the fact that she had a lot more makeup on. She flew her BFF, whatever his name is, Daniel Martin, you know, the one that cried on screen, oh, she's a wonderful girl. Oh. He was flown over. It was either first class or business class. He was bragging all about it on his Instagram. Well, classy that one, isn't it? So he was brought in to do her makeup for these events while she's in the UK. I think that's rather weird that that's happening, but I expected more from her makeup. It was a very dramatic look. When you look at her from a distance with all the flashes going off, it really was quite striking. And I thought this was what you should have been wearing while you were actually in the royal family, because you looked royal. Then the photos are coming out from inside. Now, I don't know what has gone on in that event. Maybe she was brought to tears from some of the stories, but her makeup smudged. First of all, I thought this must be photoshopped because it's really quite obvious. No, it's not, because quite a lot of the papers are using that same picture, so it must have come from the photographer direct. Second issue I have is that she has always been known to do that weird rubbing thing on Harry's back as if she were his mum, oh, it's okay, Poppet, I'm here. This reassuring kind of rub, or it's weird to do that to a grown man, and especially at a public official event that you're supposed to be working at anyway. But there's a really funny little clip where he goes to step and greet somebody. She puts her hand on his back. He instantly steps back. She steps forward to greet first. It's almost robotic, and it's almost like she has him trained. And I know that sounds really weird, but often in abusive relationships, that is a thing. You are almost ingrained, and it is a natural instinct to do something because if you don't, you're kind of going to get in trouble, or you're going to get an earful. That was the first thing. The second issue I have with this night was what Harry said in his speech when he was giving an award. Bear in mind that he has just stepped away from his royal family, his duties, his country, and his military service. Harry said, for some, the military community represents a brotherhood or sisterhood that no other organisation can provide, and for others, it's a way of life which you never want to leave. For a lot of us, it's both. Being able to serve Queen and country is something we are all rightly proud of, and it never leaves us. Once served, always serving. Leaving the military and hanging up your uniform, we know is an incredibly hard thing to do. I feel lucky to be able to count myself as one of you, and I am deeply proud to have served among you as Captain Wales. A lot of you tonight have told me you have my back. Well, I'm also here to tell you I've always got yours. Now, in that he refers to be proud of serving Queen and country, and that it never leaves you. Yet he is. He's handed it all in. What for? The hypocrisy to me, that really smacked me around the chops, to be perfectly honest. I'm like, it was one of those moments where you go, can you actually hear yourself? It did make me wonder whether or not somebody else had written his speech and he didn't even proofread it, just went up there and did it. Because surely as a normal human being, you can kind of say, well, I'm being a bit hypocritical. Does he know that he's being a hypocrite? Or do you think he just really doesn't care that he's got these massive blinkers on where Meghan is concerned, and he's so pent up and so enraged with all of this that's going on, he just can't see the wood for the trees? We are all aware that they are still their Royal Highnesses, but they are not allowed to use them as from the 31st of March. They are at the moment going through a transition stage where it's a bit tricky if their Royal Highness has been used. So with the engagement that Harry did in Edinburgh, he made a big fuss saying it's just Harry, and they wanted to introduce him as the Duke of Sussex, and he said, Duke of Sussex, and he said, no, I'm just Harry. Last night, Meghan was introduced as Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex, but Harry was only introduced as the Duke of Sussex. That to me is impossibly bizarre. You either do it for both or for none of them. To do Her Royal Highness for Meghan and not for the actual born royal, I think is sheer lunacy. And that got me quite cross, to be perfectly honest. Why does she have the right to ask them? Or maybe she didn't ask them. Maybe it was their slip-up. But surely, if you're going to call one their Royal Highnesses, or whichever respective pronoun that you use, you should get it right for both and not do one without the other. Otherwise, it just makes everybody quite cross. And the situation is angering enough as it is. There's a lot of people angry on both sides of this Mexit coin. Don't enrage us anymore. Don't give us any more ammunition. Quite frankly, we have enough. Just don't give us any more. While I was trawling through Twitter as well, I noticed somebody found that in an article, there was a picture of Meghan and Harry, and it said Meghan Markle and her husband. Again, that's not right either. You cannot just simply mark the born royal as her husband. He is the Duke of Sussex. If you're going to get it right, get it right. Don't bugger up so dramatically and just call the real royal her husband. Because quite frankly, it should have been the Duke of Sussex and his wife. When they left the event, there was an awkward moment when the crowd that sounded quite riled up and quite lively, I should say, probably had a few bevies, kind of jeered to the song Come On Eileen by Dex's Midnight Runners. I'll show you the clip. Now, if you didn't quite catch that, they were going, "Come on, Harry!" And then at the end, he's lost everything. That's what they were cheering. Quite apt, if you ask me, and spot on. I think, in summary, how I believed, she looked polished, and there's a reason why she looked polished, I think. It's twofold. She wants us to know that she's winning. She is in complete control. She looked polished, I think, purely to cement the fact that they are leaving the royal family. They are now relieved of this burden, this heavy weight on their shoulders to be part of this archaic institution. How they, she's really been slating the royal family via her friends in the media over the last couple of weeks. And this is her saying, "I'm done with you. Look how fabulous I look. Isn't it great? I am much better off than you." And again, why on earth could she not look this polished in all the engagements that she was from the moment she came into the royal family? I think this is her most successful look. And you've got to ask why. Meghan Markle is calculated. She knows how to play things. And she is very, very media savvy. This was planned to a T. And I bet you she's looking back at those photos, especially of the smudged makeup, kicking herself because it wasn't quite perfect. I would love to know your thoughts on all of the pictures that are out there, all of the videos. There are many, but I would really like to know your thoughts about everything that went down last night, because there was so much to talk about, and I'm trying to get it into one video and I can't. There's so much out there. I've given you the biggest bits that I find that I could pick apart, and I would really like to know your thoughts. Do you think the boos, do you think they heard them? Do you think they cared whether or not they heard them? Do you think it would register in their brain that it was actually for them? Harry would have. Meghan, I think she was completely oblivious to anything. Do you think she might have been nervous? Do you think she wore the makeup for armour? Do you think she looked nice? What did you think of the dress? I actually thought she looked really nice. I thought, like I said, it a little bit too small and too snug, but I actually think she looked quite polished for once. One final thing is on their Instagram, they did a montage about the event. They didn't once mention anybody that won. They didn't put a picture of anybody that won. It was all about them, not about the event. Interestingly enough, that video montage was from an Otis Redding love song, and this song is about a couple who are down in the valley so low. And again, that is just another snide little dig. It's all about these side swipes, isn't it? It's childish and not royal. Harry is defiant as ever, and I still think he looked a little bit lost. There are moments when you saw him sparkle. Funnily enough, that's always when the cameras are flashing. So much for being, scared of the cameras and every click and every flash. That just went out the window, didn't it? I'd love to know your thoughts on everything that went down last night, and let me know what you think.
Thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, hit the notification bell, and also that like button. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank all of my followers for all the tips and all the emails, DMs that everybody sends to me. It really is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much for watching once again.